Good morning out there. All right, I'm leaving the apartment right now and I'm heading back to my house so I can go lay down. I don't know if y'all have seen that meme of the going to lay down. It's like I spent one summer doing a lot of laying down as a teacher. Sometimes we need to do that, but this summer is different. And as I am working on helping my brother in mental illness recovery, um, these are the steps like in between that a lot of people, even I, almost missed. It's like as an educator, I've learned over the years is that sometimes you've got, and I know there's a saying that says you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Okay, so what if the horse wants to drink and they don't know how to get to the water? Okay, so if the horse wants the water, but the horse doesn't know how to get there, yeah, we can't make them drink if they don't want to. But what if they want to and they don't know how to get there? So this is where I am with my brother right now. And for me as well, as far as like being able to like find a therapist and afford a therapist. And even also looking at my finances here at the end of this month. It's like teachers don't make a lot of money, y'all. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm trying to find a way to make it a part of my insurance. Trying to see if maybe family counseling or something like that will help. And then the other issue is that his memory. I think his memory is improving and that's something else I want to help him with, is like building up his memory skills. And he's got to actually want it. You know what I mean? So now I think because of things that had happened in the last few weeks, things like he lost his phone or threw it away, we don't know. But then definitely last week he bought a phone, a landline, even though I told him you have to, call the phone company to turn it on. He threw it away in less than 24 hours. He bought a phone in the morning, threw it in the garbage can that night in the dumpster. Other things he has done in this past week that I think he's starting to like, oh no, have remorse. So you don't want that cycle of feeling my brother, in this with anybody with any kind of situation, you did something, you made a mistake, then you blame yourself and then you punish yourself. And then it's a weird endless cycle, right? So we don't want to do that. And I've been really mindful about trying not to do that. So I want him to know what the facts are and then just say what these are the consequences. Uh, if he's not asking this morning for a phone or anything weird, because I think he's remembering now. He's starting to sting a little bit, because I've been warning him, your devices, if you're walking around in the rain and they get wet, they're not going to work. I definitely warned him about that a few times and wrote it down. He didn't listen. His tablet is now out of commission for now, as far as I can tell. And that's kind of maybe a good thing as well, because maybe I mistakenly put a phone app on his tablet and he abused it in under 20, not even 24 hours, y'all, seriously. So he's starting to see that his chaos magic, I like to call it, is not helpful. His chaos magic is not helpful. So this morning, I used some tools that I already have and use in my classroom, and strategically got him to do an exercise about happiness and calm while listening to a breath work video, and put on a video just now about how to control destructive thoughts and behaviors. I don't know if he'll remember it or not. So some of these videos I know I'm gonna have to put on repeat for him to get it. but he's seeing the consequence of what he's doing because he likes the electronics. So a lot of the things, and again, this is a, I'm gonna just say it's an addiction. It's no different than somebody using an illegal substance, like being on your cell phone, being on your computer or whatever. Like he is really addicted to that kind of thing, to the point where he doesn't even want to take care of it. Like, I don't know, it's that's mental illness for you. So um so yeah, so I didn't at him or anything, because that's not going to be the approach for him, because he does some of it is beyond him. He has to start learning the mechanisms of his emotions, and emotions um, are physiological. Look for the best word. I know I said it right yesterday in the other live, but I'm talking about my brother, who, he's working on a mental illness recovery. And you can't just throw somebody into therapy, even though he's been in therapy before. He just, and most people, and this is with coaching too, when people come to me for coaching over the years or teaching, they think, oh, let me just, take this class, and then the class itself will just make me automatically be different. That's not how it works, y'all. Too many times I've sat in a session with somebody, and I had to kind of explain that to them, just coaching, just saying, like, just because you take this coaching session doesn't automatically mean you're going to get the result that you think you're going to have. You actually got to put in the work, and you actually have to want it bad enough to do the work. Not just, oh, let me throw some money at this. Like, yeah, there's plenty of coaches out there that are doing that, just taking your money, handing you some stuff. But it's not until you actually do it, open it up, do the work, go through the thing, the accountability, that is when it's going to happen. A lot of people, like I said, I've been doing this kind of thing for years, y'all. Seriously, I've done it in so many different aspects, because I'm also a musician. So when I used to give music lessons, and I can just tell you a story time really quick now. So I had this one lady who, she, and that's the thing, like, they'll come all hot and heavy when they want it, but then when it's time to do the work, they're just like, anything under the sun, not to actually do the work. So anyway, so when I was still giving music lessons, and in this case for this woman, this lady, she wanted voice lessons from me. So she called me, she emailed me, I responded, I gave her a consultation, and we met at my practice space at the time. And she basically told me her rundown, her situation. She was in a choir at church, and she wanted to improve her voice. And I was like, okay, cool. I can give you lots of exercises around that. I can give you mindset, all the things, and even stretch your voice, because it's not a muscle, like your body has muscles in it. I'll just say that. So you gotta, allow for the thing to happen, your voice. So that involves you being calm and focused and all that other stuff. But anyway, so I gave her, some skills to work on even in the consultation. And she she said, okay, so I'm coming from, and she was coming from another small town, and I live in Atlanta. Okay. And this is long before 2020 and the shutdowns, and everybody now on Zoom. So I was doing it before everybody now is doing it on Zoom. So I don't even know if I want to do it on Zoom, because to me it means, I don't know, I'm still trying to iron that out or not. If I want to do, I could probably do consultations, but yeah, I don't know. And accountability, maybe that. Consultations and accountability. It's like, what you been doing? Have you been doing it? All right. So anyway, so back to her. So she was coming from a small town outside of Atlanta. So she would have to drive. And I thought, like, hey, she's got the commitment. She's got the drive. She wants to do this. She wants to improve her voice and her singing for her church and her choir. And it was set for a certain day and a certain time because my time is valuable, y'all, because I had, I still worked my other jobs. So put on my schedule. I made the commitment to be at my practice space because, again, that's my time and energy. It's like I have to physically get there and to meet her there. So anyway, every day, seriously, for almost, I would say 4 or 5 sessions, every day, between 1 hour and 30 minutes before her lesson with me, she would call me. She would call me to cancel. Because either she didn't do her homework that we talked about, or life, right? And it got to the point, but I had a policy already installed saying that if you cancel within like 24 hours, you owe me money. I'm not going to book any other further lessons with you until you pay me my money. And yeah, because I've been burned. Okay. And like I said, this has been before 2020. So now I'm sure a lot of people have that in place as well. If you don't, you need to have it in place because people will be playing with your time and energy. But anyway, so every time right before her lesson, some kind of excuse would come up. And that just told me that her mindset wasn't ready for what she says she wanted. And I got to the point where I felt bad for taking her money. And I basically had to break up with her because I'd only had maybe 2 sessions with her and she paid for 6. And I'm just like, ma'am, do you want to schedule for another day? Like, I even tried, like, well, is it like you getting off work and trying to get here? Like, maybe I could do a Sunday because I still was doing Sundays and Saturdays and times where people were off work and stuff like that. I was trying to be accommodating. It wasn't like I was like not trying to help her out. So she was like, no, it's okay. I can do it. It's just, things happen. I'll do better next time, that kind of thing. And so it, after a while, I really had to just tell her, like, I'm tired. Like, I'm sorry, I can't keep taking your money and you're not here, you know? So when it comes to leading people to that next step, you really have to mentally be ready to do the work. Not just throw money at something thinking that that's going to do it. And a lot of people believe that because a lot of advertising and a lot of marketing teach people that, right? Like, oh, your problems will be so much better if you buy this product. But nobody says anything about using it. They only talk about the buying. They only talk about the buying. They don't talk about, well, you got to do the product. They didn't say put it on every day or wear it or what, they tell you, oh, you got a problem. You need to buy this. And then your problems are solved. People are trained into that. So, in my services, what I can offer is you can watch my videos. I will gladly take donations and all that other good stuff. I'm trying to set something up on Substack. I do have free things to download, that kind of thing. But when it comes to my brother right now, I'm helping him with next steps. And like I said, I'm using things that I use in my own classroom. Like, I don't know if anybody knows about conscious discipline. I've been doing that for 10 plus years in my classroom. And when people want and ready to learn, they have to be calm and ready. Yeah. Yeah, I can't force people. And I definitely felt bad for, taking people's money when they don't really want. Deep down, they're not ready for it. And there are some people who are gladly just take the money. I could offer brochures, advice, charts, things like that. If you want to do it, then go for it, But I think a lot of times, especially people who go, and when life coaches were the thing too in 2020. So I was doing this stuff before. And that's why I kind of had to lean back a little bit because I see that everybody was trying to be a life coach and they're 22 years old. I was like, how you gonna be a life coach? You out here just trying to get people's money. And I'm not saying you don't have certain skills. Everybody's got some skills to share, right? But it just turned into some things where a lot of people were out here just trying to get folks money, literally. And but I could share stories. I could listen. I can I still have probably ads up on Craigslist. Seriously. If you know what Craigslist is, y'all know. Um, I still got my website up. If you want to check it, like atlantamusiclessons.com, I'm there. I still got stuff up. I'm not, not every once in a while I'll get a call, but then I also kind of screen those calls and I'm like, I don't know how serious y'all are. I could send y'all some videos and see if, from there. Usually that's where it stops, you know? So when it comes to somebody being ready, I got to help my brother be really ready for this. Cause he's, like I said, he's been in therapy before where in situations in the past, he didn't have family involvement. He didn't have, options, I'll just say, um, where it was a crisis situation. He's not in crisis. Now is his time to actually benefit from therapy, really take it in and really get the benefits from it. So I'm just trying to get him prepared. This is a system that we use in our school, and I use is getting people ready to know how their emotional state in for learning and retaining information, learning and retaining. So I can coach people into the mindset. That's what I call the mindset. Uh, you know, developing emotional intelligence enough to know if you're ready to do what you need to do, to get what you need to get in life. That's what mindset is. And I know a lot of people say mindset, but this is what really mindset is. It's like you got to get your head right. You got to be ready. And I know I just said it. Guess what? It takes several repeatings. And I know this because I taught kindergarten. On average, it takes 23 times to repeat something before somebody starts to get it. And I already know that. Okay. So you've got to be emotionally ready to take in information. Not and I don't, and what I mean by that, it does not mean desperate, doesn't mean, I'm in despair. You're not in the learning state. Okay? That's not a learning state. That says that in this book. That's not learning. You're panicking. And I'm gonna end with this because I'm at my house now and I'm about to go lay down. You know that song? I'm gonna go lay down. So I'm gonna end with that. Um, that we have to be in a calm and alert state. A calm and alert state to prepare to learn. And that goes for anything that you want to learn. It could be learning about taxes. It can learn about finances, learn about um, mechanics. You've got to be in a calm and alert. Alert just means focus to be able to learn. And this system, like I said, I practice it a lot with folks, with music when I gave music lessons, with general education when I teach the kids. I teach them how to keep your body calm and alert so that you can learn. That is the mindset. Okay? Yeah, I know that's right. Black fatigue. Yeah, for real, I am going to go lay down, probably read and listen to a podcast, and then I got some stuff I need to do later today. But thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, watch the playlist. I need to update my, speaking of things to do, I need to update my channel a bit. I am on Substack. I'm going to start moving stuff over to there, to Substack. Okay. All right. Thanks for sharing. Thanks, friends. All right. See you later. Bye. I'm going to go lay down. Go lay down. I know I'm butchering on purpose. Gonna go.